This is a little bit of a Module 5 wrap-up and a Module 6 overview. So really quickly, by tomorrow, Tuesday, December 12th, you do need to make sure that your peer feedback has been completed and that you've posted on your partner's original forum post that, hey, I'm done, so that they can go back in and you can go back into your own or to your original and make all those final adjustments if you need any final adjustments. So making sure that you comment that your peer review feedback is completed by tonight at midnight is going to get you your 5 points. If you didn't complete the Module 5 material, that's also due tomorrow on the 12th, do not worry about it. It's totally my fault for not sending out a Module 5 overview video last week. We're just going to kind of move that assignment into Module 6. And Module 6 was really, really, really light to begin with. And since most of your work is already done for your interpretation project, I don't see that there should be any conflict. So on the website I'm going to navigate to next, we're going to review Module 6. So Module 6, what's due next Tuesday, December 19th? You've got two readings, a TABS presentation to review, and a short assignment with that, which should be a little fun. And then you've got your final interpretation project that you're just making sure is in your assessment folder, labeled accordingly on Tuesday the 19th. So those are your little tips or little kind of heads up of what I'm going to present here in this module overview. So for Module 6, what is due next Tuesday, December 19th, you're going to want to navigate to our website, make sure you click on Module 6, and we're going to navigate down to the secondary cohort. And so here you have two readings. The first reading is going to be an article by Dr. Grantham on parent advocacy for culturally diverse gifted students. He's a professor here at the University of Georgia, and his research is known for working with diverse populations and parents and communities. In your teaching tools book that you have, you want to read or essentially kind of skim over, you'll see that material there, pages 87 through 102. Again, that's not really heavy material at all, so you should be able to just make sure you're familiar with pages 87 to 102. From there, you're going to review the TABS presentation. And so TABS is an acronym for Traits, Aptitudes, and Behaviors. And in that presentation, you're going to learn how Mary Fraser is kind of home to University of Georgia. She's the one who developed the TABS. It's often these 10 areas or traits, aptitudes, behaviors are often used as a tool in order to discover students' giftedness and strengths in terms of helping to identify them for gifted programs or helping to make the proper recommendations of programming for them. And so you'll get a good overview of her and what those 10 tabs are in that presentation. So review that. This performance assessment project, I'm going to link it in a little bit. That's just that's your second project of this course. That's not due until later. I'm going to make a short little introductory overview that'll just get your wheels thinking, because this performance assessment project is going to kind of correspond, I think, with some of the pages that are in that teaching tools reading. So for your assignment, the TABS sample form, this is just a 20-point assignment. You're going to complete a TABS form on a student that you have who is either identified as gifted, who's currently going through the referral process. For those high school teachers, you're also welcome, or for those high school teachers, you're also welcome to maybe choose a student who is not identified as gifted, but who you think should be considered for identification if we actually identified in high school. So that might choose someone who's a student who you think would be worthy of this assignment, and you'll see once you kind of get into it. So here in this assignment, I've posted 2 examples, and these are just going to give you some ideas of what a completed TABS form looks like. I'm going to go through just example 1 right now. You can look at example 2 on your own. And so you will, again, in that presentation, you'll review what these 10 tabs are. And then once this gets pulled up, I'll zoom in a little bit. It's a form. It's usually usually a 3 or 4 page document. The first page is a little introductory page that I included in here. But the first 5 traits, aptitudes, and behaviors that you're going to see here are motivation, interest, communication skills, problem-solving ability, and memory. And so on the form there is a description and examples, or kind of some of these examples are positive examples and some of them are negative examples of what you may see in the child or the student. And then down on the bottom, you can see where a teacher kind of wrote in, this is Sertavian, he's in 4th grade, the teacher's own comments or examples of how Sertavian kind of is motivated, or how some of these tabs are sort of manifested in him. At the very bottom of each column, the teacher, usually is the person who's referring this or who's completing this form, rates the child or the student on a scale of 1 to 5 from weak to strong. And so there are 10 areas. Those are 5. The second 5 are inquiry, insight, reasoning, imagination, creativity, and humor. And again, you'll see the teacher's comments underneath, and you'll see where you are to rate the student weak or strong. And so the whole point here is not, with the TABS form, it's not to have a child who gets all 5s. The point is to recognize the student's strengths, and you'll see that with this form when you start writing down their insights of how they communicate or their problem-solving ability. From your perspective as a teacher, you're providing a lot of rich data for that file that's going to get that this child has. I really like the tabs because I think it does a great job of getting a more sort of more well-rounded picture of the student in terms of the areas of giftedness that might not be manifested in some of those standardized tests, like the IQ test, or some of those standardized rating forms that you guys took a look at, the GES motivation scale and all of that. So it's a really useful tool in terms of recommending students for identification or just documenting things, so that way their program of study is sort of fit according to their strengths. The last page of the TABS document is where you'll just make some short additional comments in terms of the child's approach to learning, personality attributes, leadership attributes, child's resourcefulness, sense of competence, and special considerations, and then additional anecdotal information. So sometimes here is where you'll see information about the child's family or cultural background, or anything that you think is useful. And so that's a completed TABS form. And so pick a student. Maybe you have a student in mind now, or maybe over the next week you have a student in mind. And these are usually things that you can just kind of think of on your own. So if you navigate back to the website, example 2, I think, is of a little girl named Lee, and I think she's in 1st grade. So sorry there aren't any adolescent examples on there, but I think you get the picture of it. You're going to make a copy of a TABS form template here, put it in your folder, and this is where you'll complete it. So I've got one already pulled up. Here's where you'll just insert the child's name, please make a pseudonym, your name, your relationship. So, like I'm the child's math teacher or their AP history teacher, and so on. Here's where you're going to fill out your TABS form. So again, I just tried to mimic that document just in a typable Word document here, or Google Doc. Make sure you type where it's in blue. Go ahead and highlight or circle your ratings. I put up here that it's okay if your comments make the table extend beyond 1 page. And then here's your space for your additional comments. So just one student, just one of those TABS forms, and make sure that is submitted to your assessment folder in your Google Drive. And that is just a 20-point assignment. And that's due again next Tuesday, the 19th. Also, what is due in your assessment folder is your finalized interpretation project. So hopefully here you've done the bulk of the work already. Just take a look at your peer review feedback, see if there's any way you think you can strengthen it, and then make sure that is submitted into your folder as well. And so that's it. I think the next, I don't know when we would meet next. Obviously, after this December 19th, that's kind of last thing anything is due for December. Be looking for an email from me in early January about when we pick back up. And that's it. Again, you'll want to navigate back here. I'm going to work on this little presentation that reviews your next project today, just so you can start thinking about it over the break. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. And that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week as you start wrapping up. I know a lot of you guys I don't have final exams, I have final papers, and I know you guys are giving exams in your classes and everything. So best of luck, and I'll see you soon.